What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Matt Freitz, and today I want to talk about the idea of inspiration. But I have to admit, in order to get inspired for this video, a little bit of something has to change. And I think I know exactly what that is. Ah, that's much better, isn't it? For me, the creative process comes down to inspiration. And one of the ways in which I find inspiration, generally if I'm going to be dealing with the type of commodity that we're dealing with in this video, photography ends up being the main inspiration. And for me, photography comes down to two things. A good subject obviously helps out your photography tremendously. But for me, in a lot of ways, the environment helps the most. When you get a good environment and you couple that with a great subject, you end up making magic together. So you might be asking yourself, why are you out here in the middle of the woods? Well, for this particular project, when we're talking about inspiration, the environment needed to be right. It's November, it's fall, and we are bridging the gap between now and the winter time. And so for this particular video, I thought it was appropriate to be out here in the middle of the woods, wind blowing, leaves everywhere, as we talk about this. The Scarecrow by Bull Airs. The box, designed as a hanging toy in a store. The shoes, an ode to the Scarecrow character. Colored stripes to mimic the shirt. Hay to give it that Scarecrow feel. Pink and polka dots for his field. The denim. All of the details in Jim McKenzie's vision come to life. The Scarecrow by Bull Airs is a wonderfully made product. All the materials, everything about it, the aesthetics, it all truly works. But this is not a review in the traditional sense. This is about inspiration, and right now, the Bull Airs Scarecrow is the way that we are getting to this talk about inspiration. One of the things that Bull Airs pulls from is pop culture, nostalgia. That's their true inspiration. They're making sneakers from it, but really the inspiration comes from something else. And the art form, the medium in which they are channeling that inspiration, is into a sneaker. The owner Tom was very gracious enough to send me this pair for review, but I'm not really reviewing this shoe. I'm not really reviewing the company. I don't know anything about how they produce these shoes. The only thing that I do know is that the inspiration that comes from their head makes it into these shoes. And that's the important part here. Sneaker culture is made up of a lot of different people from a lot of different walks of life. What inspires people about the sneakers that they see comes from their life experience. Is this sneaker made for everybody? No, it's not. As a matter of fact, you could argue that it's not even really made for sneaker culture. Sneaker culture is notoriously difficult to crack. We love what we love, and that's one of the best things about us. I think what's important to understand is that inspiration can come from wherever, anytime, anywhere. And the important element is taking that inspiration and putting it into whatever it is that you want to accomplish in this lifetime. Whether it's designing a shoe, whether it's getting that new job, moving to that new city, asking the girl or the guy out. It doesn't really matter. We're inspired in a great many ways, and we should be inspired enough when we feel that inspiration inside us to act on it, to make sure that we execute on that dream, execute on that plan. And when I look at this shoe, when I look at Bull Airs, a small company, I see them doing just that. I see them being inspired, and I see them taking that inspiration and putting it into their work, putting it into everything that they have. I love that. I will always give credit where credit is due, and I think credit is due here in how they made this particular shoe. Jim McKenzie, the inspiration behind this shoe, he's inspired too. You can see the inspiration in his work. It maybe isn't the same thing that inspires others, but again, it's an example of taking inspiration and channeling it into creativity. I try and do that as often as possible. This channel started as a sneaker channel, and while it hasn't completely deviated from that, sneakers are now the medium for this creativity. When I make a video about a shoe, it's not about the shoe per se. It's about the message behind the shoe, or the message that the shoe can help me convey. Do you remember the AirTech Challenge video? It was about nostalgia. It was about getting the vibe of tennis. And we did that by going to a tennis court. We're getting the vibe of this shoe here, which is scary, it's dark, it has some horror elements to it. But to me, fall is the bridge that bridges the gap between the light of summer and the darkness of winter. Things go from life to death in fall. And that is always going to be true in life. Things are going to have ups and downs. Our inspiration, our motivation, our creativity, that'll have ups and downs too. And this shoe embodies everything that the inspiration behind it wanted it to embody. Jim McKenzie has to be completely over the moon with how this shoe came out. And I have to think as well, anybody who has this shoe who wants it as an artistic piece is going to love it too. You're probably asking though, why am I reviewing this shoe? Well, I'm not really reviewing it because this shoe is not something that I would necessarily wear. It's not something that I would necessarily seek out, but I see the vision and I respect the vision. And to me, that's what it's all about, respecting the vision. We can see other people's work, other people's accomplishments, and have it motivate and inspire us to accomplish our own. And that's my message today. Whether you like this shoe or not, whether you like this company or not is irrelevant. What I want you to take from this video and put into action is go out into the world, step out from whatever room it is that you're watching this, get away from whatever device it is that you are watching this on, and go and find that inspiration. And not only find it, mobilize it. Create, execute, and go and get those dreams. Hope this finds everybody well. I hope this finds everybody safe. And I'll see you in the next one.